the Institute of Eminence. So I would like to confine myself on the whole process of Institute of Eminence, which MHRD came out to grant this Institute of Eminence to the few selected institutions in the country with an objective of enhancing their impactness at the international level. It all started in the 2015 and 14, when the country did not have an institution which was within 100 in the international ranking. Then President of India, Mr. Mukherjee, and at the time took a strong interest how to get our institution to become a world ranking institutions, that is within 100. And MHRD came out with a plan, invited proposals where they defined what the concept of the Institute of Eminence, which they would like to grant to the selected number of institutions in India, and invited proposals. And more than 120 institutions submitted their applications for the state of Institute of Eminence. These institutions included both the state universities, the central universities, IITs, and the private institutions. And in the 2017, our Anna University team worked very hard. They made a proposal, submitted a proposal, both academic proposal and the financial component, in the 2017. At that time, university did not have a vice chancellor. Then the conveners committee, headed by the Sunil Palifal, who also happened to be the secretary for higher education, principal secretary at that time. So the combination of the higher education department and the university team, all the deans and the professors, etc. department, they submitted a proposal which included the present strength of the Anna University, existing strength, and how they would want to take it to the next higher level, and what is the kind of a financial resources they have. And they submitted a proposal officially. It was transmitted to the Minister of Higher Education by, this is the document which was signed by the Principal Secretary of Higher Education. So this is the document submitted officially through the approval of the government of Tamil Nadu. I understand that is through the Higher Education Department at that time. He forwarded this document to the MHRD. So it has gone through official channel what the university submitted the proposal. This is one. Now, before moving into the more details, this Institute of Eminence is just a mega research funding scheme. This will not alter the administrative structure of the institution. This is under this scheme, MHRD is supposed to grant 1,000 crores over a period of 5 years to these selected institutions when they select, and this money could be utilized to enhance that research infrastructure, teaching infrastructure, learning infrastructure, innovation, to start new disciplinary sciences, and fund the fellowship to the faculty training and the students to travel abroad, to get the people from abroad, so that effectively whatever we are doing it until now, that level of competence in the university in teaching, learning, research, innovation, and starting a new cutting edge and enhancing the capabilities of our faculty members and the students, and getting the foreign faculty from abroad, so they can teach, they can guide. So this is the whole objective, and no change in the administrative structure. So this money to be utilized only for that purpose. University. Now we submitted the proposal. Sometime after I joined in 2018, I joined in April. At that they selected some institutions. They have out of 100 odd, I don't know, they have interviewed everybody. I think they may be possible. So that presentation of the documentary, that's a paper that we had submitted, were to be presented to the high, what you call the empowered committee, high empowered committee, headed by the Mr. Gopal Swamy, the Chief Election Commissioner, and other 3 experts. So that was the committee which was to listen to this presentation by the various heads of these institutions who had submitted. So I made a presentation sometime in October or so, if I remember correctly, 2018. I was at that time, I was here, I joined here by that time, I was here. So I went there along with my team on this document, we made slides of the things. I was given 10 minutes of time to make a presentation, but after listening to my presentation in 7 minutes, they said, okay, fine, everything is fine. Okay. So then after presentation, we came back. They announced the first list of Institute of Eminence selection for about, I think, 5 or 6 institutions, all, in the IITs. They selected that one. And I think in the same selection, they also announced private institutions, some number of, I think, Reliance, Manipal and things like that. So what they decided was, the committee, MHRD High Empowered Committee decided they will award Institute of Eminence status to the 10 institutions in the public sector, 10 in the private sector. But total number in the first announcement, they did not select 10 plus 10. They selected 5 or 6 in the public sector, most of them are IITs, okay, and some other few in the private sector. They went through a second batch of announcement, made a decision after some time from here. In that second batch, they selected again, I think 4 or 5 in the public sector and some more in the private sector. So in the second list, in addition to adding some more IITs and the central institutions, central universities, okay, in the public sector, they selected Anna University and Jadavpur University for this Institute of Eminence. So these are the only 2 universities to be selected, okay, out of 10 in the entire country, which remaining 8 were the centrally funded institutions, IITs and the central universities. Okay. Now after that, they wrote me a letter. Okay, they wrote a letter to me and to the government. You have been selected for this one, and in the proposal that you have indicated financial requirements, you please come out. You give the financial breakdown. How we can sustain that the Institute of Eminence with where in addition to the 1,000 crores, our component, how we are going to mobilize, how we are going to give the university. They wanted a government commitment from the state, actually, the state. Since they wrote only to the state, because all the centrally funded institutions, they were not required, letters were not sent. It was a direct one. They gave a direct one, asked those institutions to come and sign MOU. Only because it is under the state sector, they wrote to the state government, to give the financial commitment of some 1,570 crores which you had projected. Okay. So now, after that letter, okay, it took a long time. And we wrote to the government to send a letter of commitment, to the center from the government of Tamil Nadu. And the government of Tamil Nadu formed a committee, okay, managed a 5-member committee, and I met repeatedly, more than 4 times or 5 times. I met the Honorable Minister for Education and others on that issue to send a letter update. And they formed a committee also. And meanwhile, I also made a presentation, okay. They gave as the letter of consent was not received, they gave a deadline of May 30th to send the letter of commitment for the accepting this IOE from the state government, May 30th. So I again approached the government of Tamil Nadu and met the Chief Minister and the other Honorable Minister. I made a presentation on the 20th of May on the financial proposal which you have already submitted, how we are able to do that one and that one. And they all accepted. I made a proposal. So then later on the 29th of this month of May, before 2 days deadline, the Chief Secretary sent a letter accepting this Institute of Eminence in principle, okay, and provided all the reservation system and all. In between, what happened was, government of Tamil Nadu, Minister, our Honorable Minister and all, they wanted to ensure the 69% reservation will continue even after getting the Institute of Eminence. Okay, that is the continuing thing. the government did not write a letter. I took an initiative to write a letter to the government, to the secretary. This government is insisting on this reservation policies to be continued. Okay, I wrote a letter as Vice Chancellor. Okay, since we pursued this one, we wanted to make sure that there is no tempering of the reservation policy. I wrote lots of letters to the government of the MHRD, because my government, Tamil Nadu government, is insisting on this reservation policy. So please send a letter of commitment. There is no change in the reservation policy. So then they sent a letter, okay, as early as, okay, letter addressed to me by the Joint Secretary, MHRD. They sent a letter to me, okay, that they wrote a letter in that very clearly. In this regard, Ministry has already clarified why letter number 23rd October 2019 and subsequently 12th December 2019, okay, the institution, a government of a declaration of a government education institution at the Institution of Eminence Guidelines 2017, government-owned institutions will continue to function as per the existing regulatory provisions under which they have been created. Further, as per the para 5.3 of the guidelines, state public universities set up under the State Act would continue to function under the respective acts. Okay, so this includes everything. The governance structure, the reservation policy, everything is included here. Okay, so you can continue to do that one. So this was the condition, this was the answer provided to me at a different levels. The director, Joint Secretary, and Joint Secretary, of course, I think he mentioned to me on the phone. I also talked to him on the phone. This house has the consent of the. I also, in fact, wrote to the Secretary also. This reservation policy is important. We have to ensure the 69% reservation in both the admission and the recruitment to be followed. So, okay, so they more than once they clarified Anna University can continue with the reservation policy in admission as well as in the recruitment. Okay, it means whatever you are following presently you can follow. Whatever, whether in the admission process and in the recruitment policies, what you have been following, you can follow that one. Now, it is very clear. The admission is controlled by the state government through a counseling process, so they can continue to do whatever they want to do. Okay, and the recruitment also process is whatever the reservation policy that we have, and in fact you have been following even for our CAS procedures, our recruitment policies that we are now doing it. It is follows very strictly according to that one. There is no change, and these are all issues to be approved by the syndicate. Okay, all these reservation policies, which have the government representatives, government secretary also, say principal secretary is a member and all. So we are following that very clearly. So the Institute of Eminence is only like many other schemes. RUSA scheme we have got, which provides the skilling development, which both the government of Tamil Nadu and government of India provides the money. Okay, and we follow that one. Okay, there is nothing. And many other mega schemes we have. For example, recently we have been selected for what you call this cyber physical system. Okay, for which we correspond directly with the government of India. Okay, and the DST is one. So we correspond directly. So whenever such mega schemes happens, we university as a Vice Chancellor in a policy making body, is the head of the institution. We deal with the government of India directly on many issues. However, when issues comes with in such kind of issues, we always write to the government seeking their approval, and we have done it. So whatever I have done, what has been done now is only that one. So basically this Institute of Eminence, we understand this is now the MHRD selected only Anna University now, has given this grant, this approval to accept this Institute of Eminence. Not even Jadavpur has not been selected now. So this happens to be the only university in the country, only state university in the country, which will benefit enormously, because this money is not for any recruitment or anything at all. This is only used for research infrastructure, funding the fellowships, funding the training. No recruitment happens here in this ceremony. So it is all money. In fact, we have to, every 3 months or 6 months, you have to comply with their requirements and nothing else. And university's governance in terms of our recruitment policy, admission policy of the 69% will not change. Okay, and this is what I have communicated to the ministry, because they are also in touch with me. Whatever this book presented, whatever I presented in the with my presentation to the Chief Minister, my projected financial things, that's all that we have projected. Okay, that's all I wrote and nothing else. So that's what I want to tell. This is what I would like to clarify. Okay, and nothing else.
Sir, that's why there is now there complaints from opposition parties that you have written letter that anonymously can only create 1,500 crores on without depending on the state government's concerns. It can only create 1,500 crores. You have directly.
No, I have presented this one in the meeting on the 20th of May to the Chief Minister and the group of ministers. I presented that one. This is the document. Okay, this document I presented that day. It is both in Tamil version and all these things. This is what I presented, and this is what these financial requirements I presented. Okay, everything. Okay, and this is what I have said.
So what they are saying is you have written personally to the.
Not personally. There is nothing personal.
To the higher education department, they have accepted the reservation. What the HRD says. First point is,
But,
have you have written personally to the.
No, nothing personally. Nothing personally.
Like
Official letters. I have not written anything personally. Whatever we have communicated to the government, we have written that all. Whatever I presented to the whatever the document that we submitted originally and supported later on, reiterated the same thing in the meeting, my presentation to the 20th of May to the Chief Minister and the Honorable Chief Minister and Honorable Group of Minister. Same thing.
So without consulting higher education, you have written directly to.
No, there's nothing,
That's
there is nothing like that because I'm in touch with the government. They are writing to me. The secretaries have been sending to me letters. Okay, secretaries have been talking to me on the telephone. You have not sent your thing. What happened, and all. So that's what I in fact I sent that letter. Okay, that letter was sent to them. Same on the lines of what I presented.
So government has to give the nod for the anonymity IOE status.
Yeah.
Government has to give, or you have to decide.
No, the MHLD is asking the government to give. Otherwise, it will not come into picture.
Sir, you said most of the I think top universities central government gave the IOE status.
Yeah.
But what basis are they giving to the Geo University? This upcoming university.
No, I don't know. See, Geo University is a different question. I will not answer that question.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay, I will not answer that question.
I say this. Actually, Anna University is a.
Anna University is selected based on the strength of that university, what it has done, and what it can do. Okay, how it can rise. Because if you look at this university status now, where in terms of the ranking, NIRF ranking and the international ranking, we are very close to the IITs. IITs with 5 times our money funding. Okay, we are 1/5 of that money. We are able to reach that level already. So if with that money, with 1,000 crores, if we can, which normally difficult to get that money from the state government to train our faculty, getting faculty from abroad is what you call the diversification. Okay, internationalization, the sending the students, that will take this university. That's what I think.
As of now, any possible to get IOE from center? No.
No, that's so if the state government, I don't know, say they are waiting for approval from the state government.
Why state government is hesitating to accept this?
That I don't know.
Sir,
That I don't know.
No,
That I don't know.
what you said is reservation is clear.
Yeah.
Board policy you can accept.
Yeah,
But
I know.
why state government is still
Sir, you said Joint Secretary of the HRD Ministry written
Yes.
as well as whole scheme will follow.
Talk to me, it's all.
But the IOE status rules said state government did not functioning. Actually, the university vice chancellor is only has to rule the university.
No, there's nothing ruling. I don't want to rule anyone. I want to develop, I want to empower the university. I want to make sure university is high impact. I have no desire to rule anyone here.
Sir,
I'm not interested in ruling or controlling anyone, no. They say if the university has to be appreciated, adored, it has to make an impact. Its graduates must be very ably, very, must be high level, high quality graduates you have to produce. You have to make high impact research. You have to make a high level of innovation, innovations in the emerging areas, and you have to startups. That is the objective of a university. Nobody controls here. And you have to create an ecosystem where people can create these things. Okay, this is what the greatest universities like in MIT, Stanford, this is where the ecosystem exists. There's nobody controlling anyone there. Okay, no control. It is an ecosystem. Do work. It's a vibrant system you have to create. People should be asking questions all the time, come out with new ideas, and the faculty must be involved, and they must find out a cure for the COVID-19, or some plastics for waste disposal, or some new transport, new EV vehicle. And for example, recently in the COVID-19, Anna University did rendering a very immense service. We supplied, do you know that we assembled within 10 weeks MIT, all the departments joined together. We designed and developed and manufactured and built up a cobot. It is, what is the name for cobot? To deliver the drugs and the food to the patients. And we gave it to the hospital, to the government of Tamil Nadu. So, and you came out with a new mass material and new other things, and new devices. This is where every day university should think, faculty should think, the students should think, and you must create an enabling atmosphere, enabling infrastructure. This is what the university role is. It is not the Vice Chancellor's role is, not control anyone. I have no desire.
Sir, already you have said you met the government chief ministers.
Yes, right.
What happened at that time, sir?
No, they did not raise any question.
Sir, no, sir. Have the government has accepted regarding this highway shed?
I am not hearing anything. I only made a presentation. They did not raise any single question to my presentation.
Even the proposal, they accepted the proposal.
Yeah, Chief Secretary.
Then what happened in between that?
That I don't know. That I cannot. I brought this. I have written many letters on that issue. Let me tell you. After that, I again have written a letter. I written a letter. Yeah. I written to the Chief Secretary. I written to the Secretary. I written to everything. There are letters. Number of letters I have written.
So what's the reason, sir? It's because of the Cold War between government and Anna University.
No. Why do you think? Why do you think Cold War? You are all one. You all have to work together. This is where the university, great universities, can successfully raise to the very high level when there is a great rapport, when people work together, university staff, academic staff, the government, and the politician, the stakeholders, secretaries. When we all work together, then only this reaches a very high level. There is no reason, because I have nobody, I don't have any vested interest here. I have come here to raise the level. I have done that one in the past in all my jobs. I would like to do here. It took only 7 minutes, my presentation, within 7 minutes, they gave me the state of my eminence. Please understand. Instead of 10 slides, they cut short with the 6 slides, I came back. And in fact, I was worried, why did they cut off my time and all? No, they said that my presentation is sufficient enough. To give the IOE status. They were impressed with the Anna University's capabilities, potentialities, what they have achieved.
But they didn't ask any questions, sir. But they didn't ask any questions.
No, they asked me questions. Oh yeah, they asked me questions.
What they said?
Within 6 minutes, they asked me the questions.
What they said, sir?
No, why do you think an IIT Madras is there? How you make a difference? I told him, MIT and Harvard are across the road. They are also successful institutions. We are also like that. So
at that meeting, they were not satisfied with the highway status. Because the central government which is providing highway status.
Which meeting?
The meeting which happened with the ministers and CM.
No, I don't know that. Why should I think like that? I made a presentation. They did not raise any question. That's all I can tell you.
CM and the minister, anybody?
No. CM, Deputy CM, and the 5 ministers, group of ministers.
What they are told, sir?
They did not tell anything.
Sir, as I told,
They did not tell anything.
Sir, if you think any political reason for the reject of the proposal.
Which proposal?
The highway
Who has rejected? Who has rejected now?
Government has not given
Government may not have given, but doesn't mean that it's rejected.
Sir,
Why do you think like
they
that?
are confusing. Central meeting, there was no questions.
Yeah.
Then they are confusing with the state meeting.
No, central in when made a presentation, there were questions. I answered them very well. That's the reason why they gave me a IOE status.
No, sir. I am asking.
Here there were no questions.
Okay, sir. Do you think they?
In fact, later also I met. Once again I met the Chief Minister,
Whether they-
along with the Minister.
I think the government of Tamil Nadu has made this matter political with the any.
Sir, other political parties and the higher education ministry chief official also said the VC of Anna University act as very individually and he is not consulting with the state government and considering its.
No, I met 5 times. I presented my views.
Proper communication
But
with
no,
state government and the
I have
higher
met.
education.
I
That's the
think
main reason
no other Vice Chancellor has met as many times a Chief Minister and a Minister as I have met. In my 2 years, I met him 6 times.
Sir,
5 times.
The DMK has demanded.
I have presented each time. I have presented.
Sir.
Why do you say that, I have not presented?
Sir,
and I
the
have-
DMK has demanded your resignation, sir. What's your comment on this, sir? The opposition party leader wants your resignation and he is demanding your resignation. What's your
Sir, have the state government have sought any clarification or explanation from you?
No. I recently, I think few days back, they asked me what the letter that I gave, they wrote, that we have given that letter to the government.
So do you think,
We have given
sir,
that.
do you think another...
Whatever I wrote to the MHRD, that copy of the letter, they had asked the registrar, we have given that.
Sir, are you feel peacefully and happiness for working here?
I'm always happy because I want to do something different which others have not been able to do.
Sir,
Okay.
Sir, do you think...
And I've done that one. I want to tell you, after I joined, the number of research publications in Anna University has gone by 15%, from 1700 to the 2073 publications in 1 year. Okay, research publications. And we have got many new big projects. Cyber physical system of 100 crores, 50 crores is coming now.
Actually, what is the problem from university side and higher education?
I don't have any problem.
Somewhere
Sir,
it's
As a vice chancellor-
lacking, that's the.
I don't know that.
sir, do you think Anna is capable to raise 1,500 crores on its own?
No. We have you already have lots of research funding. Okay, now in the present system, in the what you call combination of both the two things, we have the money now. The Tamil Nadu government is giving us about 40 crores of money, black grant. With that money, you should be able to do that one.
No, sir, I mean...
You have
to
that
get
money.
IOE, to get IOE,
Ah,
1,500 crores...
Yeah, it's 314 crores per year. Final. 314 crores, you should be able to do that for.
Without government's...
No, government is giving its annual black grant of 40 crores. So with that money, okay, we'll be able to do that one.
So 1,500
Yeah. That money is available with us.
Where is the sources?
No, all this one, our research funding, okay, our affiliation fees and our examination fees, okay, our own consultancy money, our own perhaps later on entrepreneurship and all the startup money which will come through, we'll not be able to do
So
that.
Anna University can run autonomously without higher education.
No, I don't say, no, I won't say, autonomy is for certain purposes. It's an academic autonomy that we can do. But as an state university, because you are producing graduates, you are producing your thing. For example, this year, I gave 75 crores money to the university, for Anna University, to modernize the laboratory, which was never done earlier. Okay? So, it is autonomy and accountability come together. Autonomy doesn't mean that I can do anything. Autonomy, especially if you have government money, okay, when the government proposes a way in which has to be spent, you spend. Okay? And in the academic programs, starting a new programs, new research program, funding fellowships to enhance the capabilities of the faculty and the student, that is the autonomy. That is the money which comes from the perhaps IOE and things. Any government money, we take it to the finance committee and the second finance syndicate money. You don't spend anything without a government approval. Any state government money, it has to be spent. We take the approval from the finance committee and the syndicate. Okay? Only that money which comes from the IOE, that is a money which I am answerable to MHRD.
The present issue is whether you have written a letter to central government...
I wrote that one, I told you. Same thing on the same line, how I am going to do that one. What presentation I made to the Honorable Chief Minister on the 20th of May, same thing, that is the letter, this is what I presented. This is what you have presented, that's all. And I presented on the 2nd of June.
No, sir, you have written the letter on
2nd of June.
to send MHRD.
Yes.
2nd of June. This year, sir?
Pardon me?
This year.
Yeah, this year only. Yes. After all the presentations.
Without the consent of Tamil Nadu.
So again, I've given a presentation to the Honorable Chief Minister. Same thing I have given, that's all.
No, after accepting only you have to send another, that's the question.
Sir.
After accepting the higher
No, please
education,
understand.
you have to send
No,
the
I
higher education.
understand this is one.
That's the only
No.
question right
See, there was a deadline and they have been waiting.
now. Higher education.
So as a person, as a vice chancellor who is very keen to get, okay, to the Institute of Eminence,
What they say
which
is-
hundreds of universities are waiving, I want to get Anna University should not be deprived of that eminence of status.
Presentation of higher education, how can you send to the...
No, there is no. Please understand. No,
That's the question is
No,
right.
no,
That's
no.
what I'm
There is.
asking.
I am very clearly. I know what I have done. I think, in my opinion, within the purview of my what you call my knowledge, my ability to deal with what you call such kind of a programs. We do many things. For example, many other programs we do that one and all. This is already submitted here. This is already submitted by the approval of the government of Tamil Nadu. Okay, the financial projections are here.
Now, what the
No, no, again.
After the approval of higher education, only you
No,
can
this
release
has
the
been approved by the
letter.
Higher Education Department.
No, that's it.
This has got-
May 2019.
No, no, no.
That one is June 2017.
17, but the same thing I've done.
How can the
Is it not once approved, it's always approved? They have not withdrawn this approval. Okay? How do you say that? This is not helping me saying that.
what the question is
No,
right? That's
no,
what I'm
no,
asking.
no, I think, it's very clear. I don't think, my opinion. Yeah. In fact, Chief Secretary also has given, in principle, they are agreeable and all.
No, that was in 2019.
No.
Election.
No. On the May 30th, the Chief Secretary has written. Okay? Chief Secretary has written. Chief Secretary has written to the government. Okay? Where is that letter? Where is that letter?
Because the knowledge of higher education.
No. See, Chief Secretary has written to the Secretary. On the 29th of May. Okay? He says, at the outset, we thank the Government of India for considering the Anna University for the status of institution of eminence by the Minister of Women and Social Development. This was discussed in detail by the Committee of Ministers, and the state agreed to the proposal in principle.
Because the knowledge of higher education department Chief Secretary.
No, this has been sent by the Chief Secretary.
No, higher education department has to send now, sir.
No, but it's no. Secretary. No. Please understand. It was written. It was asked by the by the MHRD Secretary to the Chief Secretary, and Chief Secretary has replied. Okay? It is a letter sent by the Chief Secretary, MHRD Secretary Amit Khare, to the Chief Secretary. So for that letter, Chief Secretary has replied. So I have just followed his letter. I have only followed the implementation of those letters. Okay? The question doesn't arise at all. Okay? Without approval of the things, the Chief Secretary's approval, I have not, I am only following to implement it quickly. What is to be done?
Sir, already 3 years over.
Yeah.
When will it start?
That we are asking a wrong person.
Sir, Chief Secretary agreed the IOE status.
Yeah, in principle, it's it.
They said that they have agreed the proposal.
Yes. I have read that spot.
So you followed
Okay.
this letter.
This issue was discussed in detail by the Committee of Ministers. The state agrees to the proposal in principle.
So you followed this letter.
Who?
You just followed this letter.
Who? Yes, yeah, I got this letter from the government also, from MHRD.
So, but
Okay, so fine. I think I have clarified everything.
why now the issue has been again it's been stirring up what's the
There is no point, only comma is going.
Huh?
Problem is not.
Actually, sir.
why the problem is that
I don't know.
Sir, you have.
I am making every efforts in my side as an academician, as a person, educationalist who has done, has governed the institutions at Indian Institute of Science, IIT thing, IIT Ropar, who brought up those institutions to the highest level. In fact, when I left IIT Ropar in 2015, in the very first ranking, 2016 is the NIRF ranking, IIT Ropar was number 1 in TLR, in teaching, learning and research, scored 89 out of 100. This is number 1 among all the IITs, including the world IITs. With that experience, with that insights, with that vision, I want to take up this university to the same level. That's why I came here, and I am doing everything possible to achieve that objective.
So what's your view on
Without
I
it.
can understand.
Okay?
Your view on
Now that is not today's topic of discussion. Okay?
Sir,
I don't know.
at the same time, what is your wish about that RES students all pass issue, sir?
Now that again, this is not a topic today's discussion, so I will not
Why
discuss.
I asking is, you only wrote a letter to Indian Institute of Technical Education, sir. AICT. AICT
Yeah.
told that you only wrote a letter
Yeah,
to
correct.
AICT.
Because arrears examination, as I had read about it, that is against the things and all. So I wanted a clarification. I wrote. What is there? As a vice chancellor, I have to do it.
As a vice chancellor, what is the letter you wrote to AICT?
Yeah, I wanted to check this one. This is a government. Tamil Nadu has issued a GO to based on a newspaper report and all. Okay, is it is it right? To cancel the arrears examination. That's all simple.
Is any letter came from AICT?
No, ACT sent me a mail, and UGC also has sent me a mail. They have sent me a mail. They have sent me a mail.
So after all these letter interactions, meetings, explanation from the both sides, is there any tussle between you and the minister?
No, I don't find any trouble because I communicate. I am ready to meet anyone. In fact, yesterday also I spoke with the secretary Apurva on the telephone. I don't have any because I am running this university. in order to take it to the highest level, I meet each and everyone whoever is concerned with this university
Have you taken,
at any time, anywhere, any number of times,
Sir, have you taken,
and explain them. Okay?
Sir, have you taken
I have no
this to
reason.
governor, sir?
Huh?
Have you taken this issue to governor?
Who?
Governor, Chancellor of University.
No, I'm not taking it. Not taking it.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, I'm not taking it. I am ready to meet anyone. In fact, I am ready to meet Princess War. I am ready to meet anyone to achieve, because I have a great experience in education. Even Secretary UGC Chairman, ACT Chairman, I have interacted with them. In fact, other day I talked to the Ministry of Higher Education on what is the NEP, the National Education Policy. So I think my job is to ensure, okay, make a difference to the education, difference to the universities, and I have done in the past. I would like to do here. That's why I mean. Otherwise, I know. Otherwise, there was no need for me to pursue things. I want to pursue things until its end, so that with a clear objectives, with a great noble intention, for this country, for this state, for these people of the nation, to see that the university play their defined role in graduating the student to the highest ability, carrying out research, and becoming relevant to the society, and earns its reputation nationally and internationally. That is my objective.
Sir, just now you told now.
Huh?
Yesterday you.
Yeah, I spoke to secretary. I spoke to her. She was somewhere in some other place. I called her because I need to discuss certain issues. Some of the papers that were pending, I talked to her.
What's she communicated?
No, that time.
They will give any suggestion.
But I communicated.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
But I've been communicating with everybody. I spoke to the minister so many times, Honorable Minister, on telephone.
But the
This has to be
ministry is
done.
not cooperate for you. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
But he is attend every meeting, but all are not sort out the.
I'm approachable. Okay, I give my opinion based on my expert advice, because I know in the country why the universities are stagnating, why the education system is crumbling. I understand that one, and I have done wherever, either in my research, I've done everything. In my governance, I've done that one in all the institutions. I've brought what you call a good governance, highest level of governance, which contributed to the highest level of impact of the Roper. And I'm doing it here. In last 1 year, 300 research papers from 1700 to the 2000. And next year, this year, it will be much more. It will be 500 more papers compared to the one I came here. This all, and many big new projects are coming. So, and many things, I'm changing the perception about the university. Okay, in the theme of in the SDG goal, Anna University is number 5-7 in the SDG goal number 6 or so. So we are making it. I don't know, MIT is doing great thing, and CEG, Tech, and we are getting so many projects these days. Every day getting a projects. Okay, and every month you are producing 100 papers, more than 100 papers now. Okay, so it will go on. It is my job. I enjoy my job here. Okay, that's why I have come here.